Chelsea have suffered a huge blow this summer with Antonio Rüdiger swapping the Blues for Los Blancos, and he won't be the only centre-back out the door. Andreas Christensen is also set to leave on a free transfer, and club legend Cesar Azpilicueta may also be allowed to call time on his Chelsea career, with both tipped to join Rüdiger in La Liga. So that leaves Thiago Silva, Trevoh Chalobah and Malang Sarr as the three remaining first-team centre-backs at Chelsea from the 2021-22 campaign. And let's not forget their lack of depth on the flanks. Thomas Tuchel built his system around his wing-backs, and it just didn't work without his first-choice options. So, how can the manager rebuild a defence that not too long ago conceded just one goal in the knockout stage en route to winning the 2020-21 Champions League? The star of Chelsea's backline under Tuchel was Antonio Rüdiger. A general on the left of the back three, it was his blistering and sometimes comical runs that endeared Rüdiger to the fans. From Tuchel's arrival to Rüdiger's departure, the German ranked first among centre-backs in the Premier League for clean sheets, shots, possession won in the middle third, through balls, second for final third passes and third for passes into the final third. Chelsea will miss all of that. But their main centre-back target could be the ideal replacement. Since joining Sevilla in 2019, Jules Koundé ranks first among La Liga centre-backs for touches in the opposition box and dribbles completed. In 2021-22, David Alaba was the only player in that position that completed more final third passes than Koundé. The Frenchman would definitely replace Rüdiger's thrust and is deceptively good in the air for his size. Although Rüdiger excelled as a right footer on the left, Koundé is used to playing on the orthodox side. Enter Joško Gvardiol. The Croatian is excellent on the ball, completing more take-ons than any other centre-back in Europe's top 5 leagues during the 2021-22 season. In the Bundesliga, he led all players in his position for passes into the final third, another key Rüdiger metric. Although used as a left-back in a four-man defence at Euro 2020, Gvardiol has since been deployed in Rüdiger's role for both club and country, and would allow Koundé to operate on the right if both were signed. Alessandro Bastoni and Pau Torres, both left-footed, have been mentioned as premium replacements, while Sporting Lisbon's Gonçalo Inácio returned a 99% similarity rating to Antonio Rüdiger during our own research. But what if Chelsea didn't have to look to the transfer market? Levi Colwill will unfortunately remember 2021-22 for his own goal in the Championship playoff final, but that shouldn't take away from his excellent campaign at Huddersfield. The teenager was a rock at the back, maintaining a 74.2% true tackle success rate as Huddersfield kept clean sheets in 16 of Colwill's 31 league appearances. Doing all that while wearing the number 26, of course, led to John Terry comparisons. Perhaps it's a theory that should be tested in Chelsea blue. Moving into the heart of Chelsea's defence, Thiago Silva may have signed a one-year extension, but the Brazilian will not be around forever. The attribute that must be replaced is his reading of the game. No Premier League player made more goal line clearances across league and European competition in 2021-22 than O Monstro. For Chelsea alone, he made more interceptions, made more clearances, and won more aerial duels than any other teammate. While Rüdiger provided the intensity and drive from the back, Thiago Silva has always been the last line of Tuchel's defence. One man Chelsea could look at to replace Silva is his compatriot Gleison Bremer. The Brazilian, who also plays in the middle of a back three, made more interceptions in 2021-22 than any other player in Europe's top 5 leagues. The only potential issue is his aerial ability. Despite a height advantage when compared to Thiago Silva, Bremer only won 46% of his aerial duels last season. Chelsea would have to identify why this figure is so low before making a decision. If Chelsea want a master of the defensive arts, Bremer might be worth the risk. If not though, Jean-Clair Todibo would make an intriguing apprentice. The 22-year-old was a rock at the back for Nice in Liga last season, missing just 2 matches. Although used on the right of a centre-back partnership, his skill set would transfer well to a central role. Standing at 6'3" with an aerial duel success rate of 60.9%, Todibo provides the aerial presence that Bremer just doesn't. The Frenchman is also comfortable and composed on the ball, another string of Thiago Silva's bow that must be considered, and played more passes into the final third than any other centre-back in the French top flight last season. The man Jose Mourinho wanted to clone 10 times, Cesar Azpilicueta has played everywhere across the back line for Chelsea. Tuchel has utilised the Spaniard at both right wing-back and right centre-back without losing too much quality, so they need to replace him too. Trevoh Chalobah could be the natural right centre-back replacement. The Cobham alumnus showed signs of quality last season, and fans felt he was being unfairly left out towards the end of the campaign. He'll definitely play a bigger role in 2022-23, though could also be moved to midfield if required. If Chalobah is overlooked and Koundé is signed as a direct Rüdiger replacement on the left, Jurrien Timber is another option to cover Dave's departure. At just 20 years old, the Ajax Academy graduate made more passes, made more tackles, completed more take-ons, and kept more clean sheets than any other centre-back in the Eredivisie in 2021-22. This mix of defensive and attacking qualities is exactly what is needed for the wide centre-back role, and Chelsea will have to compete with other clubs to secure it. You're probably watching this video and wondering why this is the first time Milan Škriniar has been mentioned. While the Slovakian would clearly be the dream option for the position, you already know that. So we found an under-the-radar alternative should Inter's asking price prove too steep. Although Cagliari were relegated, Giorgio Altare stood out as a class above his teammates and is clearly too good for Serie B. Because of that, the all-action Italian centre-back would be available much cheaper than any of the aforementioned options and is at home on the right side of a back three. With the back three addressed, let's move on to the wing-backs. Chelsea don't need replacements, but they do need depth. When Chilwell and James were injured, Chelsea truly suffered on the pitch. Chilwell was a big miss in particular, and although Marcos Alonso could mimic his goal-scoring presence, the Spaniard looks to be on his way out too, and he's also a defensive liability. Among left-backs, Borna Sosa appears to be the favourite to make the switch to Stamford Bridge this summer, and he's a serious attacking threat. However, unlike Chilwell and Alonso, he prefers to deliver the ball into the box rather than arriving late himself. During the 2021-22 Bundesliga season, Sosa ranked second in the division for passes into the box per 90, but outside the top 200 for touches inside it, averaging 1.08 compared to Chilwell's 4.33. If Chelsea wanted to bring in serious competition for this spot, then David Raum would provide it. Hoffenheim's marauding left wing-back created 12 big chances in 2021-22, more than any other defender in Europe's top 5 leagues, while also averaging more than twice as many touches inside the opposition box per 90 than Sosa. In fact, only Thomas Müller and Filip Kostic created more chances in the Bundesliga than Raum's 83. Chelsea might even be tempted to inquire about the Serbs' availability too. On the opposite flank, no defender was directly involved in more Premier League goals last season than Reece James. And he missed 12 games, but that's the point. He's not invincible. He might even end up playing in midfield or as the right centre-back. So Chelsea need options. They won't need to go for a big name for an understudy, and Anthony Katsi is a player that could still provide good cover for James, or in fact any of Chelsea's defenders, similar to Cesar Azpilicueta. But if Tuchel wants a player to match James's attacking threat, look no further than Denzel Dumfries. The Dutchman's relentless race forward saw him average 6 touches inside the opposition box per 90 minutes in 2021-22, more than any other fullback in Europe's top 5 divisions. And with Romelu Lukaku reported to be pining for a return to Italy, Chelsea could do much worse than request the inclusion of the Dutch wingback in any potential offer from Inter. Or they could simply call on Cobham again. Dujon Sterling was part of Tuchel's plans in pre-season last year and is tipped to be given another look this summer, perhaps with a view to making him part of the first team. Like James, Sterling can play at wing-back and centre-back, so has the versatility Tuchel will treasure and is completely free. There is a lot of work to be done for Chelsea to build a solid defence, and money will need to be spent. If only their academy had produced centre-backs with the quality of, say, Mark Guehi or Fikayo Tomori.